Hello everyone, I'm Miaofang. I'm a master student at the Institute of International Relations, and my supervisor is Leslie. Now I'm going to present my master research, which is about Brazilian liberal ideology and public perception of China's rise with the perspective of university students. The liberal ideology is well recognized as a very important predictor of people's political attitude and political behavior. And considering the importance of the China-Brazil relations, I believe it's really important to ask the questions whether the liberal ideology can influence Brazilians' perception of China's rise. So in order to conduct this research, I use the web-based surveys applied to the students at the IRI-USP as a method for data collection. So here is a simple profile. In total, I received 908 responses from 27 school units at the IRI-USP. And as we can see, they are more male than female, more undergraduate than graduate, and with age ranging from 17 to 62 years, and most of the students are from Sao Paulo. And this is an overview of how students classify themselves at the left-right scale, where 0 represent very left and 10 represent very right. So at this graph, we can see that most of the students at IRI-USP identify themselves at the left side. And I also investigate the difference between students' ideological identification among different study areas. So from this table, we can see that students from humanity and arts area tend to be more left than right. And we can see that students who classify themselves as far left at this area is quite high compared to other study area. And that is 0 student who classify he or herself as far right at this area. On the contrary, at the area of the engineering, the proportion of left and right is moderately balanced, and they are even more right than left at the study area. So this picture is showing us the same thing as I showed on the table. And then I also studied students' perception of the rise of China in different aspects. So as we can see, the purple line represents students' trust on China's rise in the political aspect. And the result is surprising because as we can see, students mostly trust a lot the political rise of China. And on the other aspect, like the cultural, economic, and military aspects, students have a moderate trust of China as the result are gathering at 4 to 5 at the scale. And this picture shows the difference between the left and right in relation to their perception of China's rise. So we can see that right students tend to distrust China's rise in the political aspect as well as the cultural aspect, while on other aspects, they are quite the same. And this is a graph of how students perceive COVID-19 in relation to China. So the green bar represents that most students disagree on the statement that China's government should take responsibility for the outbreak of COVID-19. And many students also believe that China has acted efficiently in combat to the pandemic, which is shown on the red bar. And on the data analysis part, I use the OLL the order logic model to test my hypothesis. And I also include some control variables like some social demographic information as well as student study areas. So this is an ideology model which explains what are those specific values that constitutes the student who identify themselves as a right wing. So as we can see, students who support the role of government, protectionism, redistributive policy, and quotation system tend to be less likely to be right wing, while students who support democracy and the punishment for the juvenile crime, they are more likely to be a right wing. While the support for access to gun and LGBT tolerance, abortion, immigration inclusion does not constitute they are not significant in explaining why students classify themselves as left or right. So my hypothesis here is that a university student, a USP student, regardless of his ideology, he tends to be liberal. He tends to have this kind of liberal views towards some social issues. And here is the China perception model, and I compare them with the US. So as we can see, right-wing students is more likely to discharge China's rise at the political and cultural aspect, as we can see the first model and the fourth model. And this is exactly the contrary to the US. Right-wing students tend to trust more the political and cultural influence from the US. While at the economic model, things are different. As we can see, a right-wing student, he trusts both on China and US economic influence. So this again verify my hypothesis that maybe a right-wing student at the USP, he tends to have these liberal views, both on the social issue and economic issues. And also, as we can see, the military model, there is no statistic significance about students' perception of China's rise in this aspect. So this is all about my research. Thank you.